You're listening to Into the Smoke, hosted by Patrick Harmon. Hey guys, what's up? Thank you for listening to Into the Smoke. I'm your host, Patrick Harmon, and sorry for the long delay again. Um, it's just been, I've kind of like trying to look into different ways to making this a different channel, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. And if you guys want to stay till the end, and when I upload this upload this podcast onto YouTube, this could be a second podcast basically, and it's going to be a channel update and where the channel is going as a whole, meaning technically what if I make a second channel or something else. And if you guys like this style podcast, you're going to probably like that because I'm going to talk a lot. And I'm also going to talk to you guys about, current issues, including current issues with this channel. So, without further ado, we had New Hampshire last week, and I'm actually going to grab a pen real quick. Man, I lost my pen already. And we're going to go, because I have a whole list of issues, and we're going to go to the Matt Kenseth, Eric Jones, Joe Gibbs issue right at this moment. And I believe that's the biggest issue that's on the plate as this moment. What happened was that the driver, Matt Kenseth, was notified at one point that he was going to not have a ride at Joe Gibbs. That was what known to him. I believe that's how it went. He was going to keep it a secret until it came to the point that it was ready. Well, I believe Kyle Busch, his teammate, got it slipped out in a interview, meaning he was probably like, "Oh yeah, I'm like Matt Kenseth, you know how he's not having a ride next year, It's like, no, I don't know that. Tell us more." And that's what happened. Basically, is what I've understood. So, I just and there was an article that came out probably I think it was last night or this morning about how Joe Gibbs basically said he had to do it. When Carl Edwards retired, things got shuffled around a little bit, and Eric Jones went to the 77, which now I believe is either a placemaker for another driver, not technically, because 77 is a Furniture Row racing car, which Furniture Row's never had a second car until this year, or it is just a car that they were just racing for this year for Eric Jones. And that's what I'm thinking now. I was thinking, why didn't they just say that Matt Kenseth is going over there? I'm guessing that's why. Is because that is just a car for this year. So that's what's happening there. That's what he said. It was like, oh, it's just a pure business decision, and I can't really say any more about it. Like, I can't. That's just how it is. So, but I just feel like there's plenty of other drivers that could have got knocked out at Joe Gibbs. He thinks that, but I feel like I think he said that also that he feels that Matt Kenseth had a really good chance last year, and he feels like that Matt Kenseth has a good chance this year to make Chase. There's a lot of drivers, there's a lot of drivers needing to get into the Chase, both personally and just soul needing to get in the Chase, like Kyle Busch, and I was trying to get the actual Chase schedule, but I was not able to. when I go to the standings, um, it's set up so different than years past. So, um, yeah, I don't know. So, because they should have most other than Truex Jr. Um, everybody should be lined up to mostly to wins, but they got Kyle Busch in there at third, which I don't believe. I don't believe that Kyle Busch should be in there at third place. He's a minus 108 points from the leader, but I don't believe Kyle Busch is. Is only three physical. I understand if he's because he hasn't won a race, and he hasn't won won a stage for like he has won stages. He won at least one stage yesterday, but he actually hasn't not won. I don't think he has won a lot of stages, and I believe Kevin Harvick should be up there a little bit. So I don't know, but yeah. And then I was also thinking about what if Toyotas are doing what Hendricks have done in the past, meaning Hendricks have raced really hard in the first half, which I don't think Toyotas have really raced that hard in the first half, but Hendricks really raced hard in the first half to win races, and they did, and then they saved their vehicles, and they just drove races, and they just went slow and all that stuff, but they still they watched how the tracks were driving and all that stuff. But you can't really do that because the tracks are going to change. They go even though it's a very minor change, but they do change. That's why when the announcers and all that stuff are sitting up there, even during the day. But a lot of the tracks they go to in the spring and summer, they change in the the fall, and technically if they would if they went to Indy in the fall in like October or November, they would probably see a very big difference. Because we have a very not harsh, but a very different, uh, harder fall than what the southern races they do, and they'll do a lot of southern races once it hits that time of year, into September, October, and obviously in November, especially in Homestead, Miami, and yeah, so so yeah. Um, but but that is a good question though. Is to thinking what's going on at JGR if um you know like if they are they because they're not really all clicking on too. JGR sends engines and or I believe engines and chassis to to uh to um to furniture sorry to Furniture Row Racing. So like they have but they have not but on the JGR side they haven't really seen that the drastic improvements then so it's kind of one of those things. I think they've done it. I think that's been past years where they've people have kind of said, "What's in the water?" What's in the formula. What's and maybe something could happen. That's what happened. I'll get back to this a little bit later, but when Hamlin won today or yesterday, what that's what I'm thinking. It's like a Toyota won, and I know a Toyota won last week, but it's a JGR Toyota. You know, last week it was a Furniture Row Racing Toyota, but now two Toyotas won in a row. You know, see, every people don't like to say this, but it happens every once in a while. Comes up in spikes, and if we ever find some if we ever find some um if we ever find some if there's ever a if there is ever if there ever is a retired NASCAR official, you'll find this out. But I'm pretty sure there has always been spikes in cheating. And I'm just not saying Toyota is cheating, but I'm not saying Toyota is not cheating. And I'm not saying that if Toyota is cheating, I'm not saying Toyota is the only one that's cheating. But they do find out, and Larson's probably not going to be the only one that's going to get those violations. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, what I was talking about was, like, if you talk to probably, like, if you could ever get a retired, let's say a retired NASCAR official or anything like that, they probably are going to say there's probably some spike of cheating every once in a while. And I'm not saying JGR is doing that, but I'm not saying there's any team is not doing that at any time, because that's what NASCAR is all. It's always been. Is you always cheat, and look at what Larson just did. He got a post qualifying. That was kind of kind of a bad thing to do, because you're gonna get hit. You got it. But and then you had Kyle Busch's crew chief. Talking to the guy on the pit box last week, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we might have one love nut loose, but we'll be good." It's like, are you like, are you okay? Like, are you serious? Because you don't know that NASCAR watches everything. NASCAR owns basically all that footage. NASCAR is giving Fox, NBCSN, whoever wants to record, permission to borrow that. So when Kyle Busch's crew chief said that on there, that's basically saying, "Hey, NASCAR, we got some problems. So come over here and talk to us about it." So yeah, so I didn't understand that whatsoever. But it's not R&D day, so, and I totally forgot to talk to you guys about that. That's another reason this is kind of like, it's kind of a special podcast, because I usually do. I told you guys I was going to do it on R&D day, but if there is any major or minor things, like what happened, if especially if it's a win or a loss. If it's a win, if you lose a win, or if you lose your second place or third place or whatever, it's big. Especially if it's the Toyotas, because if it's a Toyota, or if it's a major, if it's like, let's say if it's a Hendrick, or, I'm not hating on my guys, but even if it's a Stewart-Haas, you might have to start thinking of the bigger picture kind of thing of let's start looking at the teams and watching them. And you don't know if they're, we only, and this is what I've been talking about too with the people I know about that. With people I know, you only know what people tell you about NASCAR right now. You only know what if we might have never known that Eric Jones was coming over to the JGR actual JGR house instead of staying over at Denver. You know, we might have never known that until a couple of weeks before November. A couple weeks before Miami. But now that we know that, you know, but that's what I'm saying. You don't know that until NASCAR or the team or whatever knows that, tells you that. That's there could be a whole big sting going on right now that people infiltrating NASCAR, teams and all that stuff, trying to find out. But like I said, I believe there's spikes in it. I really do believe it. I believe a couple years ago there was a big spike. Look at the team that who was it that did that whole big thing? It was some big scandal that he wrecked his car so his other teammate could get like 50th or something like that. And I heard about that, but I didn't really believe it because it was so fake, and I'm pretty sure it's still fake. But you know, but you know, but so I talked about saving your cars. Um, um, let's talk about this, and then I'll bump two things about the other. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk too much about them because I'm I'm going to talk about those other things eventually too in the other podcast update. So when last week's race when Denny Hamlin was up there, it was Hamlin and Larson, which Larson was coming back from which they were making Hamlin like whatever, and I'm like, Hamlin's a Toyota, he has the advantage already, you know. Larson really is the whatever. He needed the advantage, but he didn't have it. His team kind of screwed him over, and that's another thing people need to understand. When drivers get fined because of body modifications, the drivers might not always know that. So you never know. But when Hamlin was doing that, I was kind of like thinking in the back of my head, if Larson won, I would be like, I wish it was my driver. I wish it was, I wish it was Kyle or Kevin, Kurt, I'm really, not even Kevin, not Kevin, Kurt, because Kevin and Kurt both have a win. They're locked in the chase. Danica, I really want Danica to win a championship before she has to retire. I think she has a lot more series, a lot more years. I truly believe that. I believe that Danica really has a lot more years left to race. But Clint Boyer is a little bit older, and he really needs to step up. So I just think that Boyer needs to. I think Boyer needs to try to get a win, this year, because even though he's hooked up with Stuart Haas, he's not that far off of the chase. He's not that sorry. He's not that far off of his life expectancy in NASCAR. I understand that older drivers used to stay in forever, but people didn't understand back then what was happening to their heads, to their bodies, and now drivers have understood now that you can't stay in that long. You know what I mean? That's why people in football retire at 40. You know, they don't retire at 80. You know, if you retire at 80 in football, you'd probably be dead. You know, I'm pretty sure you will be dead at 80. You know, if you'll probably be benched 90% of your time, but you will probably die. You probably will get like one blow to something and probably pop or something. But that's why these drivers are retiring. You got Junior that hasn't won a championship ever. He's won a lot of races, but he's won a lot of races, but he has not won a championship yet. He's won a lot of other things too. He won he won he won you know what I mean, most popular driver for like the longest running. If he wins most popular driver this year, I'm pretty sure he should probably win, you know what I mean, a award on top of that. So, you know, I just I think yeah, you know, I mean, there's a few people that need to be in the chase, but that's what I was thinking about when I was thinking about that. And then if it was a Toyota, if it was the Hamlin, which it was, I was like, it's a Toyota. And I really do want them to get caught because I really do believe I believed last year that they got they got they were cheating. I believe, you know what I mean. I believe some years NASCAR doesn't even care. You know, I believe that, and I just don't think. I just think that NASCAR should, you know, do something, but they worry about more stupid things than they worry about somebody cheating, which I've never understood. Never understood. Like you're gonna worry about somebody cheating, but you're not gonna worry about somebody cheating, but you're gonna worry about, I don't know. But this weekend is probably one of my favorite weekends now, um, due to the fact that it's Eldora and Brickyard. Yep, we're going to be in the Brickyard, my home state. It's down in Indianapolis. I'm up in Fort Wayne, and then we got Eldora, the truck race, which is pretty cool. I've been there before. It is so fun. I watched a Larson one when, um, and I was actually rooting for Rico Arboro, which is actually I had to look a little bit, but MRN Motor Racing Network, and if you guys don't follow Motor Racing Network of some sort, like I don't follow it all the time, but if you don't follow it some way, but you call yourself a racing fan, you guys gotta go over. And I'm not sponsored, obviously. If I was sponsored, I'd be making bank and videos everywhere. But you gotta go over to Motor Racing Network. And you can listen to all the races if you're away, and gotta find it on your local radio stations. But there's some way to listen to all of them. But it's a Wednesday and Thursday, or Tuesday and Wednesday, I believe. Oh man, I gotta look it up now because I totally forgot. We can schedule. There we go. Yeah, it's Tuesday and Wednesday. There's no TV. There's no TV on Tuesday though. That's what sucks. Um, they won't televise it on Tuesday. So both practices are on, which is kind of weird. They have practice. They have practice They have practice, and then they have pole qualifying at 5, and then everything's on Fox Sports 1 and 2 on Wednesday, and and then they got the regular race at 9:30 on Fox Business Network. So don't be looking at on any of the sports networks. It's going to be on the Fox Business Network. But we got some mentionable names. We got Christopher Bell, which is he races for Kyle Busch Motorsports. John Hunter Nemechek. The number 10, I don't know who runs that, but it's unknown yet. Got Ryan Truex, which I believe, I don't know how he's related, but I believe he is related to Truex Jr. Yeah, driver for Brad Keselowski Racing. Bobby Pierce, which is he's pretty well known in the truck series. JJ Yeley. You got Ty Dillon, Matt Crafton, which is a regular. You got Rico Arboro. That's who I believe I was actually rooting for him when I was at the race. But yep, he actually Tony actually likes him a lot. He actually does not have a full-time ride. He used to ride, and the year I watched him, even he had a ride in the truck series. So he's a really short dude, but he knows how to race. He was born a year before me, so a little bit older than me, but he's very qualified. And but that's gonna wrap it up for today. A lot of all over stories. I couldn't really it was all over the place. You went from Indy and and Eldora to Toyota's cheating and all that stuff. And like I said, I'm not saying that any one company is a cheater, but I think NASCAR should really watch that, because there's a possibility that anybody's in that battle. But anyway, guys, like I said, watch that video, or not watch the video. Listen to that other podcast I'm going to make right after this. It's going to be a little more in depth about what's not really in depth. It's just going to talk a little bit about what I'm thinking about doing for this channel, and I might actually make a third video. And that's what you guys are going to want to listen to if you guys like this style videos or anything like that. But if you guys want to get in contact with me, let me know about any style videos. Or if you guys know of any tracks that are willing to not send me down per se, but just any tracks that are willing to get me a ticket. 2 tickets. I need 2 tickets, by the way, because I need a ride, obviously. So my mom would take me down. um, in the Fort, like within distance of Fort Wayne. So MIS, Michigan International Speedway, Kentucky. I don't know if there's Ohio. I know there's Chicagoland. Um, any of those speedways within that distance. The reason I'm saying this, I'm not just asking for a handout. This is the last little thing. I totally forgot to write this down, but I think I know why. I just didn't want to write all of it down. I have a cool idea. I have GoPros. Oh, I have two or three of them. I believe I have three of them. I think one of them broke, but I think it still works functionally. I want to do a video at the track, just showing everything. And obviously, I'm not going to be able to interview drivers because, I mean, I'm not a press. I'm not going to get. I don't have press passes and all that stuff. I wish I could. I mean, if you know the, I mean, if you know a track that can give me a press pass too. I mean, I wouldn't need two of them. I just need one of the press passes. But that would be my favorite video. When I went to Eldora, I really wasn't thinking anything about that. I wasn't even thinking about the channel. I didn't even have the Into the Smoke at the time. And I think I emailed Eldora the track. I think I either emailed Eldora or I emailed Tony Stewart's somebody, and they just kind of said that we can't do that. I was kind of wanting to interview Tony Stewart, and I've always wanted to email or interview him or my other favorite driver, Kurt Busch. But like I said, if I'm not asking you guys just for a simple handout, it would be more in depth. It would I would show video of it. I would it would be I would probably try to buy a microphone for my GoPro so I can kind of like show you. Hey guys, what's up? I'm here at for example, I'm here at Michigan International Speedway and having a great day. We are and be kind of stuff like that. But if you guys know of anybody you might work at a track and you can get me a couple tickets, I believe that's all I would need for the bump to go to a track. Because right now it's kind of hard to get out to a track right now, and I think that would be all I need to get. The financial bump basically to get out go to a track, and and if nobody, if you don't have it, just it's cool. You guys are all my fans, and I like talking to you guys about NASCAR, and like always, guys, stay out of the smoke. See you guys in the next one.